Hello and welcome to another Let's Draw / Let's tutorial. Today I want to talk to you about gouache, which is a paint technique. Yeah. There are two different ways to use gouache. Two main ways. You can use it kind of watery, like watercolors, or you can use it very thickly, like oil painting. And to demonstrate how to use these, both of them, I will do a little drawing where I will mix both of them and explain how to do it. So off we go onto the drawing table. I will show all the steps of one gouache painting. Will be a simple one because, well, otherwise the video will be 8 hours long, which is about as long as 2 or 3 modern action movies in a row because Hollywood is stupid. Right, let's get to the drawing board. Alright, let's get cracking. So, the first thing you will notice is I've stretched the paper. How to stretch the paper? Well, I did a video about this, the link is in the description below. When you do the sketch with a pencil, always do a very soft sketch, I'd recommend, because gouache doesn't cover everything up as strongly as it would, for instance, with acrylic paints. Right, first top tip, you can keep your gouache in an empty ice box. And these are actually really great because, well, it's kind of cheap. I mean, and you get some ice too. So let's first make the paper very humid. And then let's use highly diluted gouache. Very watery, as you can see, it kind of flows around. Right. I'm going to do some swampy thingy because I kind of like swamps as a motif. I wouldn't want to live there because of mosquitoes and stuff. Right, dry brush. Let's let's bring in some live here. A little more green. I don't know if you can already see, but this is quite thicker than watercolors. You should never use watercolors the same way you use gouache, because I will come and get you for doing something absolutely atrocious to watercolors. I will get you in your sleep. No, I will not. That would be silly. Accuracy already a little thicker. I just need to grow a big funny haircut, and then I will be considered to be the next Bob Ross. Oh yes. As I said, this is very quick now. Yes, I'll use some more colors here. Yeah, that was my cell phone. Yeah. It was to tell me that the battery is full again, which is something very important to this now. No, it's not. Okay, now let's get to the actual thick technique. First, you make a base color, so to speak, a very diluted, thin layer that we have the main color of what will be the thick layer. Here we go. There are several reasons for that. When you use thick gouache, it will actually mix itself with the background, with the lower layers, which is similar to oil painting. And actually it's very close to oil painting in terms of difficulty and stuff. which is weird because this is a technique I have seen very often used in schools and stuff like this, which is yeah, you're not ready for that at school, you're not good enough. Alright, so let's get back to the what will be our thick layer. Do kind of shadow part. Yeah, you do the shadows first with a thicker layer this time, with a dark color. This is, I've seen different approaches. One of my teachers recommended to first do the absolute darkest color and then brighten everything up, but it takes a hell of a lot of time. And what I use is essentially what the same method you would use for oil painting as a professional oil painter. Well, I've discovered it later because I know a professional oil painter, and I was kind of surprised to see that he was using the same method. So yeah, the moral is it complicated to use this method? Yes. But there are more complicated things. Like taxes and trying to earn a living with art. Actually, I will use some more thick layer. Okay, this is not going to be the biggest masterwork you've ever seen, but fair enough. Let's make it green and stuff, so that's kind of covered with moss. Okay, now you see I'm using a big layer. Big guys want big layers of gouache, of course. And okay, I will enhance a little. And here you will see how it mixes with the layer below. Now the thing to know is that now it's still very humid. I mean the paint itself, right? Not me, I'm not humid. Well, not yet, because we are already having summer temperatures, so I might get a little more humid later because wet. Okay, I will use... okay, these are a bit not typical. I will put more shadow parts. Let's get back to green. So for the last part I will wait until it's dry. The thing is, when it's humid like that, you can do very nice mixes with one color in the other. But it's, yes, look at how it mixes here. When you want to have one layer with just one color, it's super difficult to do. And this is why I will wait a little till it's dry. Also because of whites and stuff like this. Okay, I think it will take about one jump cut to really get dry. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. Yep, I will let it dry and see you later. And welcome back after this jump cut. It is now dry enough. I'm going to change the color of the lizard guy here to make it more realistic, of course, because we want realistic lizard persons, don't we? Yes. I apologize for the background noises. This is actually, yeah, we do have summer temperatures today. And as soon as we have summer temperatures, it's noisy. Summer is a season of noise. That's how it is. As you notice, I have now taken a smaller brush so that I can do more detail work. Yeah, lots of noises. As you can see, when you go pop, 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 it will mix with the layer that's below it. I mean the paint, it mixes with the layer below it. Okay, so now this is very dark, as you can see, with your eyes. I hope you have eyes, because I have to admit this is more of a visual medium I'm working with, so I'm sorry for blind people, because they don't get to see very much here. But yeah, that's how life is. You can't do everything for everybody. Always be somebody who will complain. So yeah, if you're blind, I'm sorry, but it's not very interesting, I guess. I'm saying that, but maybe it is very interesting because I have the most amazing voice in the world. Maybe it isn't interesting. Who am I to know? Okay, I'll do the main color for the hat. I'm going to go with a funny hat, because we all love funny hats. And here, same technique. First the main color, and then darker color. First layer was very thin, of course. So most important stuff, water, lots of it. And white paint, but this will come into hand very, very soon, you will see. Okay, I'm getting somewhere here. I need a little bit of red here to give it more of a leather color. Yeah, like this. It takes big amounts of paint. I mean of water. You have to kind of always dip the brush in water. Watercolors are much faster to use, but it's different. It's just different. And here, as I say, it's more the thick method. Up, see, white. White is very important in for this technique. The same guy I've talked about before, who said, yeah, you have to start with the absolute darkest layer. He also said was that we must use as little white as possible, which is a problem, because you will be doing layers upon layers upon layers until you're dead if you use this technique. Okay, as you can see, just a little bit of white goes a long way to give some shadow. And it's sweet. Yes, it's sweet. Yeah. Yeah, ba-da-ba-dum. I will mix a little with the layer below it. And then I will go more into the actual detailing. Enhance! Come on, you can zoom it. Zoom in, zoom in. There. Oh, focus. Focus, man. Okay, just a little back then, maybe. Can you focus? Yes, you can focus. See, you can do it. Aren't you happy? Yes, you are. I like swamps. I like swamps. Yeah, no, I'm not going to sing, because then YouTube will tell me, oh my god, that is copyrighted content, even though it isn't. But it kind of sounds like some content that is copyrighted, so away you go! Okay, I noticed the shadows here are not very good, so I will correct this too. Yep. Just putting some black here. Yeah, this is the big advantage over, say, watercolors. You can just come back and do corrections. You can put more layers. You can put as many layers as you want. which can be very useful. And yeah, this is maybe why it's often used as an introductory technique to painting for beginners, even though it is a hard technique. But the main advantage is yeah, you can do as many corrections as you want. Of course, the problem is that you will need to make many corrections, because this is not very easy a method, and I would say that you're too young to use it when you're in school, which is why it's usually used in schools. There are practical reasons also. It's very easy to clean off from your clothes. Just will go right off, no problem at all. And it's very good for the parents. Parents like when the clothes of their child are still good and usable. I know I'm happy when my clothes are still usable. Yeah, I'm saying this with the white, that is the last one, but you can kind of do as you please. But no, you should end with the brightest layer. Yeah, you see, dry and dry, you can have quite interesting effects. Yeah, there we go. And now I will do some more detailing on the body because it's dry enough now. Oh, I need more water. The problem is that it will quite... It's very fast at getting a little too thick. And the trouble is when it's too thick, it won't be very clean looking. I say it's a problem, but it can also be a big advantage, depending what you're doing. Right, we'll do some little... When it comes to patterns on fur and stuff like this, I don't start with this because let's face it, if I was to try to leave all the spaces that get darker with the pattern clear, it would be very, very hard. Is it lazy? I suppose. Is it effective? Yes, it is! So here now it's starting to... No, it's looking a bit like a lizard, isn't it? And do the fingers, well, the claws. Yep. In French we call this rouleau, and in German I forgot. It's kind of, you come back when it's nearly done, and you just add a little bit here, a little bit here, you know, to just give it more strength and more power. You can also kind of outline it. I've seen some outlining everything on the acrylic paints. Acrylic paints are quite similar if you use it when it's still wet. Problem is that acrylic paints, when they're dry, are dry. Well, I think it's a problem. It's not a problem. It's super useful in some cases. And it's also very unhelpful in other cases. Like if you're doing this. Yep. Okay, this is going to be a little more difficult because it's kind of a one line shot. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Yeah, just making it a little darker here. And there's some texturing here, which is, yeah, when it's quite dry, with the texture of the paper, you can do some swag effects, or some nice effects. Sometimes you just need two little bits of color to do your thing. Come on, little, yeah. Concentration, don't know if you can see it, yes, you know we can. Oof. This little part where you're just going and adding a little bit of white, a little bit of black, is actually the part that takes the most concentration. Yeah. The rest is just easy peasy. No, this is where the real concentration lies in. Yeah, sorry, I've kind of have this habit where I just put the brush in my mouth when I'm not using it. I mean, when I'm using two brushes, I put the one I'm using in my hand and the other one in my mouth, which can lead to some strange situations, because one time I wanted to drink my coffee and my free hand was kind of, well, I had that one brush in my free hand, and in my right hand I had the other brush, and then, well, I put this one in my mouth, and then I wanted to drink the coffee, and this is not going to work. This one, and I'm using little story. Yeah, let's make it green. Just expanding a little bit. And now in this side. So now there is just a bucket left to do. It's on my bucket list. And we are getting very close to the end. Right, jump cut! Here is the finished picture. I added a little bucket, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. And hands. Well, let's do it like this. See, it's a little painting. I added a little bit of shadowing here. The hands, but yeah, it's this direction. So I will put the link to the finished picture in the description below. And yeah, that was it. A bit of gouache. If you want to do some gouache, it's possible to get gouache for very cheap, about 4 or 5 euros for a pack of 12 colors. Well, the thing is, in 200 years, these colors will probably be a little bit pale, so if you want it to be still good in 500 years, you have to pay a lot more money. But for practice purpose, I would recommend taking the cheaper ones, because the base material is the same. It's also with acrylics, the base material is the same, so it feels the same to work with them. It's just the feeling of the colors. If you have more intense colors, it might look better with cheaper ones, with more expensive ones. I would definitely recommend to buy an orange tube. If you have to do something with orange, because mixing orange is impossible. Other than that, yeah, just try. If you, and yeah, don't hesitate to put the links to some of your drawings in the description below. You can comment on that. And I'm also on DeviantArt and stuff, so I can comment and maybe help out. Have a nice day. Yeah, I took off the lab coat when I drew because I don't want to have paint on my lab coat.